but as seen stand, it's Ramadipa who leads Hafai in P4, Ikigami P5 with Takahiro Takemoto in 6th and 7th.
Oh, big crash, Chris, sorry, big crash at the front. Ojiwara's down, high side, coming into turn 12, I think that is. Ikigami, as you can see there, at the same corner, he lost ground, he's making up ground immediately as the rookie.
Yeah, out front then it's Mitani, who's in a country mile of his own. A country mile of space has the number 9 of Takahiro. Dives up the inside of Veda.
Assalamualaikum, halo semuanya. Jumpa lagi dengan Supriyan Satria di channel Bukan Pengawal, channel yang membahas seputar dunia otomotif roda 2, review motor, kabar terbaru, dan juga info balap. Apa kabar teman-teman? Saya doakan kalian semua selalu dalam keadaan baik dan sehat. Musim balap Asia Talent tahun 2024 sudah dimulai dengan seri pembuka yang dilaksanakan di sirkuit Bocil, Qatar beberapa jam yang lalu. Ajang balap Asia yang menggunakan satu jenis motor, satu pabrikan, dan bermesin 250cc. Peraih juara Asia Talent Cup tahun 2023, Veda Ega Pratama, tidak lagi tergabung di kelas balap ini teman-teman. Veda Ega Pratama bersama Astra Honda Racing Team akan melakoni dua balapan di level Asia dan Eropa. Di level Asia, Veda Ega Pratama akan turun di ARRC Super Sport 600cc. Di level Eropa, Veda Ega Pratama akan debut di KTM Red Bull Rookies Cup. Sepeninggal Veda Ega Pratama, ternyata Astra Honda Racing Team sudah menyiapkan penerusnya teman-teman. Pembalap ini akan menggunakan nomor 7 dan mengendarai motor warisan Veda Ega Pratama. Usianya yang sangat muda bukan berarti minim prestasi teman-teman. Pembalap muda ini sudah malang melintang di balap nasional dengan prestasi yang sangat baik. Seperti apa aksi dan keseruan penerus Veda Ega Pratama ini? Saksikan kiprahnya di Asia Talent Cup seri pembuka di sirkuit Bocil, Qatar berikut ini.
This was Mitani, but Chris, take us away. The first starting grid of the season here at Losail International Circuit.
So then your grid is a Japanese 1-2 Mitani, Farish Hafai, Takemoto and Levi Russo are on the third row, with Filipino rider Daquigan leading the fourth row. Race for today is Tanachat Vishwanath Maki and Dave.
For 12 laps of the Losail inside of your screen, revs will be up. We are, and the lights go out, and we are underway for 2024 in the Asia Talent Cup, and it's a great start from pole position from Zen Mitani, but the number 16 of Ojiwara, after a disappointing qualifying in P5, the number 16 got a perfect launch, and he takes the whole shot into turn 1. Mitani got a good launch, but not good enough to take the whole shot. He slips into second place, and it's the number 20 of Singapore in third place. So a great start from the middle of the second row from Ojiwara.
Rocket from P5 to P1 in just a matter of meters. It shows his qualifying didn't matter that much as he now leads the running here. Zen Mitani is slotted in behind. He'll be happy enough with that start as the number 7 of Ramadipa jumps up into third place. Halfway mark of the opening lap. There's going to be chopping and changing a lot more though, so don't read too much into the early positions as they get a little bit close for comfort there.
They're down into turn 6. That's where the long lap penalty loop is. You could just see it in the background of your picture there. It's getting close in the background. There's Singapore on the number 20. He's lost a few positions in the fight that's going on behind the top 2. What's the gap there? Sort of 6/10, and didn't stand on the podium from round 1 to the end of the season. So ground to be made up for Takahiro, but look at the gap already, Chris, from the top 2. Ojiwara leading Mitani, and it's climbing all the way. 9/10 of a second as we near the completion of lap 1 of 2024.
Yeah, it looks like these two just want to bolt and say, catch me if you can, boys. But it looks like the front two, Ojiwara and Mitani, are showing their class. What do they have? Kept the inside. Will he find a space to move up? But Ojiwara closes the door on him.
One big change in 2024 is the Pirelli part in the Asia Talent Cup. Maybe not quite as it did before. So the top two have bolted. We know how quick they are, but do watch out for tyre degradation. And this is a great fight going on behind. Incidentally, the gap at the front is continuing to climb as they clock through the second
two, who are the most experienced, or among the most experienced riders in this class, already make an early decision to bolt from the pack. But let's see if that can last with, what, 11 laps remaining. And it might actually get into their hands, because we see this large group here, it's constantly chopping and changing. I think we've all had Singapore, Takahira, Hafai, all have a go.
They've got magnificent starts, especially Ojiwara from the row 2 of the grids, and they are clearing off into the distance.
Yeah, just taking a look through the timing screens as well at Sector 1, it was a 34.3 from Ogiwara out front, but then Ramadipa, Kigami are into the 33.9s, as is Takemoto and Levi Russo. So they've got a 5, even though they're in this group fighting for position and field position on the track, they are quite a bit quicker than the front two. They've lost, a few of them have lost that now a little bit.
Read too much into it. A 10.5 split the top 5, and as you can see, the top 2 in the race are clearing off into the distance. Watch the gap over line, it's over 4 seconds now, so in 3 laps they've gained 4 seconds. Tremendous stuff, and obviously the battle that you can see here on the screen is going on behind.
So it's high time for him maybe to start making that experience count and get those podiums. But as things stand, it's Ramadipa who leads Hafai in P4, Ikigami P5 with Takahira Takemoto in 6th and 7th.
Oh,
with
big crash, Chris,
Kiyotaka.
sorry, big crash at the front. Ojiwara's down, high side, coming into turn 12, I think that is. That's a nasty one for Ojiwara. Great to see he's back up on his feet. I think he was a little bit wide on entry, and the rear just snapped away from Ojiwara on the number 16, and down the road he goes. Oh, that's such a shame from Ojiwara. And win this race at a canter. No pressure from behind now for Mitani on the number 2 machine, but drama then in race 1 of 2 here at Losail International Circuit. That's Takahira backing it in nicely down at turn 6.
I knew you would spot that. I know you're a big fan of them sliding in through the corners on an overtake, Elliot, but that was really, really nice as well to watch.
So here we go, down in turn 10. Singapong up the inside, he had contact just as Ikigami was trying to tip it into the apex. Singapong maybe a little bit too late on the brakes, missed his braking zone a tad, and the duo went right. So Ikigami loses time, drops to the back of this fight for now the P2 and P3 on the podium after Ojiwara's crash. So plenty of talking points already in the Asia Talent Cup. 7 laps to go as we cross the line. Mitani leads by over 4 seconds still. Ikigami now has ground to make up after being in contact with Singapong.
Yeah, they're certainly not out of this podium battle just yet. Singapong, as we can see now, he's already onto the, shall we say, the third group, the head of the third group, chasing the second group. Strange incident there. Looks like Singapong took a wider angle and then kind of not hit into, but disturbed Ikigami as both went wide. But thankfully, both are still upright and still in this podium battle that is currently led by the number 19 of Farish Hafai.
Yeah, an easy one to get sucked into at turn 10. There's plenty of places to pass on this Losail International Circuit. Turn 10 is certainly one of them. You come out of the right, sort of fastish kink at turn 9, and then a heavy braking zone down into turn 10 before you're powering it out of turn 10. The sort of hairpin into turn 11, the back straight, and I think they're all bunching together quite nicely again. So that just broke up the group a little bit, Chris, but Ikigami, as you can see there, at the same corner he lost ground, he's making up ground immediately as the rookie.
Yeah, out front then it's Mitani, who's in a country mile of his own. A country mile of space as the number 9 of Takahira dives up the inside of Farish Hafai to take P2 off the hands of the Malaysian. Just in behind we see the number 7 of result, and that is where he's running right now. So he's looking to go for a PB result here in Qatar Race 1.
Slipstream City down the front straight, the kilometre-long front straight here at the Losail. Don't know. Didn't lose a disastrous amount of time, did Hafai, but that's going to cost him.
Yeah, I was just noticing coming out of the right-hander at turn 1, and he looked to have a serious lead and riding the absolute daylights out of the machine, but he got it wrong then coming through the next corner. He's still upright, he's still in this battle, as you can see him trying to make up ground there. In the background, he overtakes Levi.
He'll know the gap, he'll just be controlling it from the front with pretty much 5 laps to go when they cross the line. That's Ikegami diving up the inside of the penultimate turn, shoves Takehira wide onto the paint there, and Ikegami and Singapore getting a little bit close for comfort once again. So fairing bashing once again from the number 14 and the number 20, but Ikegami, after being shoved wide by Singapore, has rebounded superbly.
Yeah, it's elbows out stuff here in Qatar in race 1, isn't it? And you made the bold call of backing Ikegami for a win here. Well, he's currently riding in P3. Well, he has just dropped down a little bit as we've lost a rider towards the back of the pack. It's Farham Naqib. It's gone down there, Elliot, but we'll get the replay here.
Oh, so contact there in the battle down the fields at turn 10. That's where we saw Singapore and Ikegami come together. Yeah,
another podium. He hasn't hit a podium since the opening races of last season, so we'll be looking for a return to form as we see the incident between riders number 17 and number 18. That's Farhan Naqib and Chirag. This one is currently under investigation.
Sort of understand that from what we saw. Here is the number 18, then he's going to have to take a double long lap penalty for irresponsible riding.
It's in this class, and it looks like he is a rider of big talent, as we see the number 9 of Richie Takehira sees P3 off the hands of Farish Hafai. It looks like that move has been coming for a while. We've been watching that number 9 just try fight Sato's 2:10.661 from 2021, so he's just set the fastest ever race lap out front.
It's going to go all the way to the flag. Is that Takehira having up at the inside? No, that's a brave passing manoeuvre there down at turn 14. You've got to really make sure it's a move that's going to stick down there. The penultimate corner of turn 15, and then it's all about getting the drive down into turn 16. We're going to see some moves down here in the last couple of laps, I'm sure. And then, as we've mentioned, it's all about getting it hooked up on the run to the line. Matani will cross the line any second now to complete another lap. 2 laps to go in this race. Matani out front. He's clearing off into the distance. Might be a comfortable race victory, but we are watching the fight for second, third, and below.
Yeah, slipstream coming into effect here. Is anyone be able to get ahead of Ramadeepa? The number 19 of Hafai dives up the inside into turn 1 to take 2, 4, 1 and P2. Then it is Ramadeepa just behind, but here comes Richie Takehira, who demotes the Indonesian now into 4th place. Japanese rider is back on into the podium places.
Here we go on. That's how quickly it can change here in the Asia Talent Cup when the racing is so close. Hafai then leading the way in P2 in this race for the podium, and that's a great move down at turn 6 from Ikegami.
Yeah, completely shut the door there on Singapong, I think it was, who was trying to go through, as we see Takehira once again firing up the inside on Ikegami. Ikegami really getting the elbows out here as well. We've seen him make a couple moves, being the victim of
Ikegami, as we said earlier on in the race, got shuffled out wide down at turn 10, and the way he's responded is brilliant. Takehira then diving, chopping the nose off of Farish Hafai. Hafai looked, well, just in the podium fight, on the number 9, but this is going to change lap by lap, corner by corner. I say lap by lap, 1 corner to go, and it's the last lap, so corner by corner. This is Zembatani, this is your race leader, and this is your last lap of the race in race 1 here at the Losail International Circuit. But this is the battle we're going to concentrate on. I'm sure Takehira, all the riders using every ounce of the track.
They've got what? Turn 4, 6, 10, 12 and 16. All hotspot overtakes over Singapore. Ramadeepa and Ikegami are not out of this just yet.
Down into turn 6 we go. Ikegami up the inside of Singapore. Sits Singapore up. Singapore loses a little bit of time. Ramadeepa fancies a bit of the action as well, but didn't quite get the move done. Farish Hafai on the number 19, still in P2. Takehira in P corner, no, not quite. This is turn 10 though. A passing manoeuvre potentially. Ikegami looking at the inside. Takehira is compatriot, and he gets the job done. What a move from Ikegami.
Yeah, very wide line there from Takehira. Opened the door, and Ikegami did not need a second invitation. Just behind them.
This is the number 2 then of Mitani. What a race, what a start to the season it is from the young Japanese rider. He rounds the final corner, gets it stood up on the exit, and it is magic from Mitani in the sail. But this is the battle we're focusing on, the battle for P2 and P3. Takehira is leading the way into the final corner and out of it. Who's going to stand on the podium? Takehira on the number 9. Singapong on the number 20 isn't going to quite get there. It's Ikegami, I think, who claims 3rd. Ramadiba had a go on the number 7 machine. He finishes P4, but what a race. The final complex. Not sure what happened on the exit. Maybe lost the rear slightly. Not sure. Just got it a little bit wrong, did Hafai. And that cost him, especially when him and Ogiwara broke clear. But once he saw Ogiwara crash down in the early exchanging, 25 points, the maximum going to Zen Mitani. As we said, what a way for him to start his sophomore season. A trio of Japanese riders at the top of, and as myself and Chris just mentioned, if that is anything to go by, then race 2 is going to be an absolute belter start to the season for the number 2.
Asia Talent Cup, race number 1.
Very shortly, you shall be hearing the Japanese national anthem, so enjoy.
Congratulations and thank you to our gents for presenting the trophies. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please, your respect for the national anthem of the winning rider, the national anthem of Japan.